picture this. You're on a flight and the child sitting behind you starts climbing and jumping on the table attached to the back of your chair and starts using it like a trampoline. This happened to a passenger on a plane recently. There's a few similar type videos online of various kind of situations. And of course, we never fully know what the setup is. We don't know if the child has some sort of, issues, or we don't know who the carers are there. So we know none of the facts, but these things circulate, obviously. How would you approach it, Frankie? And I know what it's like, your boys are a little bit more grown up, but you've been there.
Yeah.
What's it like being on a plane with children, or indeed just being the passenger watching everyone else with their little ones struggle?
I think it's hard, and I've seen that video, and it is difficult. Like you say, we don't know, what's going on with the child and things like that, and I think that's something everyone always needs to try and remember. I think for me, being a parent on a plane, no one wants to sit next to you. People see you coming and they think, oh no, please don't sit in my aisle, or please don't sit near me. And I sometimes think the same if I'm on a plane and I'm childless, but I would never... if a baby's crying or a child's running around or a child's being naughty, I would never be rolling my eyes or complaining or anything like that. I might have a little moan to Wayne and be like, oh, God, But more because I know that pain of trying to stop your child from either crying or running around. And it's difficult. You don't want to disturb everyone else. But I think as long as someone is seen to be trying, then I don't mind. If a kid is kicking the back of your chair or whatever, and you can hear the mum going, please stop doing that, stop doing that. If you do that again, whatever, then I'd be like, they're trying, they're not ignoring it. If a child is doing it and the mum's off picking her nose or whatever, then you might be a bit more like, OK, can you make an effort? I would never say anything, and I don't think I'd ever complain to anyone. I think a child jumping on the table behind you is a bit extreme, and I think I would just hope that an air hostess or something would come over and say, can you maybe get them to stop that? But I've had a row with someone on a plane before because they told me to control my naughty child.
Oh.
And actually...
I only said it once.
You are the naughty child. Yeah. And I just lost it because he wasn't being naughty. And if he had been, I would have been like, yeah, fair. I'd have been peed off, but I would have understood. And I just went off on one, and I was like, you know what, if you don't want to be with a public or a child on a plane, get yourself a private jet and rah, 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 rah. I just went off on one at the front of this plane, then all of a sudden I thought, oh my God, this is going to end up online. So then I just kind of stopped and I just burst into tears because he wasn't being naughty. We were stuck on the tarmac. He was picking things up for the air hostess. She was more than happy with it. And actually at the time, Parker did have some learning difficulties. He wasn't good at... he couldn't hear properly or speak properly, and he was actually being really well behaved. And I just thought, you don't know our situation, and actually he's being fine. And her husband was sat next to her like this, didn't even make eye contact, was like, this isn't happening. So I just think you need to think about what you say and what you do in those situations.
I have absolute anxiety flying with Y2 just because I worry about everybody else on the plane, and I want them to be as good as I can possibly be. I bring literally as much as I can in my hand luggage to occupy them. I really do. And because I've looked at it so much, like on Instagram, you keep getting similar videos that come through because you've hit on something. That's all I get now. And recently, the pill boxes that you get for like daily pill. This is the latest one I watched recently, where you put little different treats or something in each of the days of the month in a pill box.
Like tranquilizers or
well, not quite, but I thought, that's quite clever.
But how long does it enter? My kids said we opened that
would just be like
seconds.
that. I know, but again, that's where my head's at because I put so much thought into it because I try to do the right thing. But if a little one's going to cry or get really agitated, you can't stop it.
If they were on their iPad as well, everyone would have something to say about that as well.
Yeah, that's true.
I think, as Frankie said, when a parent is... Because that happened to me. I was getting on a flight to Thailand in February, and as I was looking down, I was thinking, please don't let that be where I'm sitting, because there were, like, two really small children. And I was like, oh, God. But all through because he started to kick the back of my seat, and the mum was... I could hear her like, no, don't kick the lady's seat. And da-da-da. And she... we did the whole flight, and they were so well behaved. And actually, when we got off, I said, do you know what? I said, I just want to say, I dreaded it when I sat there. I said, I've got kids myself, but they're old now. I said, I dreaded when I sat down, and you were absolutely brilliant and whatever. Another flight, the parents, so we had 3 kids, probably all under the age of 5. They put the 3 kids in the seats behind us, and they sat on the other side of the aisle having a lovely, quiet time.
That's great parenting.
While their kids just, you know, wreaked havoc.
That's genius.
That's what I thought.